Let's play with some autumn leaves. Hello and welcome to the Treasured Page. I'm Melanie and this is our quiet crafting space. Today I've been on a little nature walk this morning and I've been picking up some of the damp, wet leaves. Now that they're dry, some of the colour is being retained here. If I could keep a couple of these beautiful red ones and maybe the yellow one. Just love this rustic, grungy effects that are on these leaves, the browns, the greens, all the things that we try and look for and try to recreate with our ink splatters and things. Now this lovely signature has been put together for me using coffee paper and various dyes and splatters and mica inks, and it's all beautiful. It comes from Claire from Portsmouth. Thank you, Claire. I'm going to have a look at how I can decorate the front. I definitely want to pull in some of these leaves. Now, these leaves were collected from the garden. I brought them in, I put them in a bowl of water, just cold water, and washed off any mud or dirt, anything like that. So they were allowed to soak in the water for a little bit. Then I laid them out on the tissue. I put them down like this. I then had another tissue going over the top, and then I pressed the iron over the top of them like that. So for today's craft, I'm just settling in, having a cup of tea. I just want something I don't have to think about too much. It's really nice to be able to sit and just play. And I think what I'd like to do is just get my pens out and have a look. A while ago, I was sent some very nice pens from Ohuhu. They are acrylic marker pens, and I didn't have any acrylic marker pens. My daughter had some, and they're quite wide and chunky, and I'm hoping that these are going to be finer, and I'm really excited to share this with you to see if we like them. So first impressions here, they come in a lovely case, and that looks like a book, so it could go on a shelf and be kept and stored really nicely. It's 30 colours. Here you can see the series, and it is from Ohuhu. And now I've already purchased a set of their alcohol markers and I've used them in the past and I absolutely love them. So these are a great addition, but I didn't pay for these. I have been sent them. So we're just going to see what we think, and if we're not keen, then they'll be sent back. So I'm just going to have a look. So first of all, let's open them out and see what we've got. Fabulous. First impressions is absolutely loads of colours and nicely arranged, nicely organised. We've got two cards here. We've got a white background and a black background so we can see the difference. And then there's some spare pen nibs. So straight away, it looks like we've got two pen nibs here. Let's have a look. So this is a yellow toned one, and this is the wider end. They taper from the looks of it. We can see there we've got the wider nibs, which are here, and it even looks like they can be pulled out and turned around to give you a smaller nozzle there. So that looks like there's two ways of doing that. So there's two sized nibs in that side, and then here I think there's only one from the looks of it. That just clicks in, so that's a fine line marker there. And it says acrylic marker Ohuhu, and you have to, there's a pump action to get them started, so we'd have to press down several times and then the ink would flow through. So we'll have a look at that. Okay, so they are great. So now I want to think about what colours I want, which is going to be interesting because it would be better to fill in the card, but I'm not sure that I've got time to do that right now because I really want to get on and decorate my leaves. That's what I'm here to do. I'm wanting to just unwind, you know, just feel the craft. So I'm thinking autumn colours, but maybe pastel colours. Maybe we'll go with that yellow that I picked up there. Not sure what this one is. They've all got, oh, it says gold. Okay, right, we've got tangerine, lemon yellow, gold. Let's have a bit of pink. Neon pink. Ooh, maybe, I'm not sure. Maybe I will step away from neon pink and opt for neon rose. Or what is this? Magenta. All right, let's have a look. What else? This one looks like, I want bright. Let's have some bright colours. Spearmint sounds nice. And a few others. This one is light blue. And then there are some metallics. So there's one that says bronze. That sounds nice. Metallic purple. Then there's white. We'll have that. So there's silver, metallic grey. There's a black. There's metallic blues, so it comes with the metallics as well. But I think this is plenty to get us going. Okay, actually want the green as well. Nearly all of them, really. So it's a liquid acrylic paint that we'll be using through these acrylic marker pens today. And the idea is that I'm going to do some decoration onto these leaves. All right, I've got a piece of paper here so that I can get the ink working. So we just push them up and down until the ink starts to come through, and then I can see that that's a lovely colour. And then we just have a play about with them, get the ink going, see what they're going to look like. That's a really lovely colour there. So we can now think what colours we're going to use. That one's quite pale. And the lighter colours are going to look great against the dark background. They're lovely, they're flowing really nicely. And then that's coming through. So this one is the bronze. That's really nice. So I'm just wanting to work with the fine liners on these leaves because they're not very big, and I'll get more detail. This one says it's verdigris, so that's the colour that you might see over the top of copper. Okay, in nature. Right, all right, so what colours do we want? So I'm following the lines of this leaf. So I thought it would be quite fun to have a decorative element on these leaves. Now, nature's beautiful as it is, but it's also just quite fun to have a little play and add a little bit of extra colour and just see what we can achieve, bringing out the detail that maybe we don't always notice. So we've got it looking like that now. What's nice about it is I'm not having to push the pump down. The ink is just flowing here quite nicely. Okay, this could be paintbrush and some paints that you have. You could even dip the paint or the ink with a Q-tip or a cotton bud, and then you could do some dots and decorate it that way. All right, it's covering really well over the top of a leaf where there is a slight shiny texture, so it is soaking in and looking quite fun. I'm going to alternate the pattern. It's covering quite nicely. I'm having to go over it in a couple of areas where it's not quite adhered to the surface completely. But overall, and seeing as we're not using paper for which the pens are designed, I'm using a dried leaf from the garden, it's doing really well. So just having to go over it a couple of times to get the coverage. So this is a fun, really relaxing craft, just something that you can slow down, just take your time, make up your little pattern. It doesn't matter, there's no rules. I'm just doing dots and it's just really effective. Really loving that. So if you haven't got acrylic markers, you could use white gesso paint, you could use corrective fluid, you could use a white gel pen to get the effect. You might have several gel pens in neon colours so that you get the lighter colour. This one I think is quite neon, and it doesn't say it's neon, but it is quite bright. You may have some metallic marker pens that you could try and use and do some nice swirls in gold or silver. So let's have a look at the white and see what we can do here. So there's a slight reaction here on this surface of this leaf. Maybe there's sort of like a waxy surface because it's a leaf, but the pen is wanting to have several passes of the ink going over it before it's staying on. So the ink is separating, it's not exactly going down the first go, I'm having to go over it. But I think that's fair enough on a leaf. So we're just going to go round it. Just have to go over it. But there we go, just a little bit of fun. So that's put some white lines on there, and then I can let that dry and come back to that one. And then we'll just have a look at this. Now this leaf is accepting the paint no problem at all. So I'm just going to do larger polka dots on this one. There we go, that was fun. So I've left some space in the middle of that one. I might pop in some purple, would that go? Let's have a look and see if we can put the purple in the middle, where it's actually quite a nice pink. So this is a dark pink colour as it happens. And that's that one there with the spots. So they are looking really good. So I'm thinking now I want to put some more on this one. Let's have a look about what can we have. Maybe this one I could do some bronze. How about stripes down there? Really relaxing. This is a very nice little way to spend an afternoon. So I think that I could probably put something in there. Let's go for, let's try this pale pink in the middle. I'm not sure that that's enough of a contrast actually. That's not going to be as much of a contrast. How about my green? Keep going for the larger end and it's the smaller end. Carry on putting this green colour over the top of that lighter white. And then I'm going to come back in with the white and just do little flecks, little dots all the way around it. Doing some little dots here with white, little spots. Tiny little random dots all over the place. There we go, I'm really enjoying this. I'm just putting little random dots in between those green swirling patterns. Really good. Moving back to the white, I'm just going to put some circles here. Okay, there we go. These are so much fun, and the best thing about it is that there is a garden full of beautiful natural leaves which will remain beautiful and natural, but there are just some that are going to be embellished and be frosted and be fabulous. Well, this is the sort of craft that you just want to settle into. You can just lose yourself. You can sit here and be quiet for ages, just allowing your brain to take over, your creative side. Just let the pen do whatever the pen wants to do. Wherever the pen wants to go, just allow it, see what happens. Just little hills and valleys here. Just putting on some circles, semicircles, just nothing special, just going over and making these little shapes, just echoing shapes that we would see in nature, and maybe coming round. So if you like the idea of this, but you're not sure about using leaves, and to be honest, they are quite brittle, so it does take a delicate hand. So you could definitely create this with maybe a heavier weight paper, and you would be able to cut out a leaf shape and perhaps fold it in half to create the vein that you see down a natural leaf, and then you can open it out and you will be able to draw in the lines that you see on a leaf if you wanted to. But this is very therapeutic. There really is nothing to think about here. You just put in some lines and curves and dots. Nothing to worry about here. Can't get it wrong. Look at that. Isn't that just effective in that green? And then perhaps I could come in with the pink colour and I could colour in some of those smaller inner circles that I've got there. Okay, I'm going to do one more. They're so much fun. I'm going to take this darker blue, have a look at some little flowers around here. And there we go. So I've just drawn some little blue flowers on there around those yellow dots. So that's the idea. You could use other markers. You could use alcohol ink markers on paper. So if you cut out your paper shapes, maybe fold them in half to create a vein effect, and then you could start drawing in a leaf design with your ink markers. So this is what we've got. Let's have a look at how we could put these together on our journal page. So they look quite nice. Okay, so now I'm using matte gel medium from Liquitex. This is to protect the leaf. Now obviously the leaves are very fragile, they're going to be brittle. This is going to help strengthen it up and protect it, because not only is it waterproof, it's also going to offer some strength. Anybody who's left a paintbrush in the matte medium for any length of time will know that it dries solid, rock solid, and that's what I want for these leaves. So if you're doing your designs over the top of an ink effect paper, you wouldn't need to do this step at all. So I'm only doing this step because it's a very brittle leaf, and I'm just trying to add strength so that they won't break and protect the leaf in case there's any moisture in there and prevent it from curling any further. It's just going to seal it all in. And to protect your leaves, you could definitely put a coating of wax over the top of them. So you could melt down some old candles that you've got left over, maybe the ends of, if you're wanting to do true junk journaling, you've got any old birthday candles, you could definitely melt down the wax, dip your leaves into the wax and let them dry. But then afterwards, because you wouldn't want wax melting into your pages in the future, if you left it in the sunshine and it all got warmed up, you would then have the wax bleeding into your pages. What you would need to do is put them into tissue and then put a hot iron over the top so that you got rid of some of the excess of any wax. So that's another way of doing it if you don't have any fancier art materials, but I'm using what I've got. So I'm putting this over the top here, sealing this in. Now this one is incredibly fragile and it is breaking. It's such a thin leaf, so I'm just going really carefully just to see if I can get this in my journal in this beautiful colour. These are always the ones that are so no, it's not going to do it. Oh no, come on, can we? Can we save it, even if it's just a little hint of it? That's fine. I might be able to draw around that with the gold, put the missing bit back in. Let's just keep it all and hope for the best. I'm going to leave them to dry. They don't take very long at all. This is the beautiful benefit of matte medium when you're making a video. I'm going to wash my brush and we'll come back and assemble it on our journal page. All right, they're almost dry, but I can wait no longer. So I've got some glue here. I might switch over to something stronger for the ones that are really curling up. But I'm just going to have a little play around with the composition here on what could be the first page in this journal, and I'm just having a look and seeing how I like it. I mean, I really love the colours because they match so nicely with this coffee paper. I think we'll glue them down. I'm just using PVA glue here, and I've got the Art Glitter glue nozzle on Anita's tacky glue. I'm going to put that there. Put that there. I'm just going to put a paperweight on top of that to stop them curling up. and stick them down. And then we're going to have a look at what we've got here. Okay, where I'm missing a bit, I think if I can put that there and then put this leaf over the top, we'll hide the fact that there's that missing piece, and we'll still retain that colour, hopefully. It may turn brown in time, but we're just going to enjoy it today. So it's quite sticky already on the back there, where I've added extra glue in the hope that I could just protect it and preserve this russet red colour, which I'm so loving for this time of year. I think you could paint that on with a brush with some PVA glue as well. That would work if you're very careful with a fragile leaf. I'm going to let that hang off and I can trim that off. But I think that's going to go down nicely. Right, so this one feels nicely sealed in. I'm just going to add that there, and that's going to come and live over the top of our broken leaf. Is working out, so that's good. And then we're just going to see if this can come in here. This one might want some extra strong glue. I'm going to just give this another go. This is Fabri-Tac Power Fuse. Not sure that I like it, but it might just do the job. It's a very runny glue. I'm just adding this in, you never know. It's a Power Fuse glue from Fabri-Tac. It was more affordable to buy than Fabri-Tac, but it's so runny and it takes a long time to dry, but I'm hoping that it might have a more permanent bond than PVA. So I'm just going to add that in there for luck. Just going to cut away the leaf stalk there. This is coming together. This has actually been really quick. It hasn't taken long at all, from going and picking the leaves off the ground to washing them off to just gently putting the iron over them, letting them dry for half an hour. So that was one sort of little process this morning, just while I was having breakfast. And then when I wanted to settle down, when I've had time just before lunch, I'm just doing a little bit of gentle journaling, just getting over my morning and calming down, processing all the things that I've experienced so far this week. And it's just allowed me to have that headspace, to have the creative time to reset, to process and rethink, just to that lovely relaxing time for me, where I can shut the craft room door and just block out anything else. Absolutely wonderful, and I'm really happy with this. It just looks great. It just wants to dry, and we'll just work out where we're putting this final leaf, and then I will show you the picture at the end. And here we go. I'm going to put this one at the top, and then I can cut away the little stalk that's poking out if I want to. And I'm going to just hold that in place. So I can come round with the white pen, just mimicking what I'm seeing, creating some lines and just filling in the gaps a little bit to bring in this design, to make it more meant, to give the leaf some border and shape. Where there's missing pieces, I can draw them back in. So here I think I'll go around with the gold, and I'll emphasize the fact that there's a hole in the leaf. You know, nothing's perfect. It doesn't need to be. This is junk journaling. It's art journaling. It's an expression. Not everything is whole. Not everything is fixed or mended. It doesn't need to be. It just needs to be. It just needs to be on the page, present and accounted for in its own little space, giving it its section here and allowing this leaf that has already done its job. It's supported the tree and now it's dying away. It can be celebrated, it can be looked after, and it can be brought to life once more in an artwork piece on a treasured page. And now I've got this one which I haven't embellished, which I think is really nice to leave that plain. I'm going to put that one there, and I quite like this one as well, so I think I shall have that one there, and then that just is a nice framework, and I can add some embellished pieces. So that's a nice framework. We can have a label or something there if we want to. So I can bring in more if I want. I can just carry on. I can decorate the whole page if I want to. Maybe I'll leave a little gap just to write in the year. I've got my rubber stamps here from Tim Holtz. I've got some numbers. I just want to have the year, so I'm pushing down the 2 there. Doesn't matter if it's wibbly wobbly. And there we go. Oh, that really was a wobble. So now I'm just adding some little detail here with this gold pen, and you can see where I'm starting to scatter the leaves, where they'll probably end up and be glued down in a definite process of more is more on this one. Just loving this explosion of leaves and all the creativity that's coming off of them. And then the 24 there to indicate the year that we're in currently. So this is quite a fun explosion of colour and energy here on the page. I think that this is a really fun idea for anybody who loves autumn, but maybe wants to move away from the browns and the darker colour tones of fall and autumn. Here you can see how you can work with it. You can bring in your own energy, a little bit of zest for life for this fun season change, and also just to lift your mood and lift your spirits, particularly if you're going through something right now where you just need a little bit of joy, a little bit of positivity. I think that this is a really fun way, and also an affordable way, because you can cut out your own leaves, or you can go and find leaves for free on the ground and just have a look at what pens you have a look at what paints you've got. If you've got some acrylic paints, you could just do little dots on the tip of a paintbrush and you could make some marks that way. You could also use black ink as well and just have a black and white theme. Lots to think about there, but I've really enjoyed doing that for you. So there we go. I'm going to put a picture of the final piece at the end of the video, and that will be the start of this journal. So here we go. I've really enjoyed putting this page together. The pens are a real success. I have thoroughly enjoyed using them. Doing the little dots and embellishments, having the colour pop off the page. My daughter is going to be disappointed because I think she thought that she would be able to have them, but I think we're going to have to share. There we go. The link is below if you are interested in the acrylic marker pens by Ohuhu. And this is the series here. It's the one with the turtle on the front. So there we go. That's what we used today. Really great, lovely colours. They look great in that case, and they work on stone and metal as well. So they're really versatile, lots of ideas for many other crafts as well. So thank you so much for watching. And if you'd like to follow along and see how I get on with this project, you can subscribe to the channel so that you can find the videos. You can also click the bell icon and you'll be alerted of when the next video is uploaded. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. I appreciate each and every one of you. I love reading your comments. Give me a thumbs up if you thought that this was worth your time, and above everything else, just slow down and make crafting time for you. Bye bye now.